Trying to look like Tyler Breeze. I missed that guy along with Fandango. With Breezango, the Fashion Police, one of the best tag teams in the world. I'm not even kidding. Universe. I'm just going to share with you how I go about setting up the universe mode. I want you to understand that the actions I actually choose, I'm not saying you need to do this. I'm giving you like a rough blueprint here so that things are a bit more manageable. Superstar mode and classic mode, which, by the way, I always recommend first and foremost that you do classic mode. Why? Because like it says, it's the original sandbox experience with total freedom. You can select what superstars are in there and all that kind of stuff, and the match tables and who's in what division for what title. And then at the end of a week, not in the middle of a week, aka in the middle of a show, you can then switch over to superstar mode if you wanted, and then everything resumes. You can't do all those things starting off in superstar mode. So I always recommend, no matter what you do, start off in classic mode. So that's what we are doing. From here, we got Mommy, because, you know, she's always on top. So from here, what I usually do is I go to edit shows. That's the first sort of... Actually, that's not true. I go to my universe. Let's do my universe for now. This is just if you wanted to look at the rivalries. This is if you wanted to go to tag teams and just zap them all or make one or edit them. Okay? These are your superstars. This is a good place to look at your superstars and edit them if you wanted to be like, well, AJ Styles isn't with those people anymore. So you could like remove the teams, the enemies, edit the enemies, add allies. You can also change what show he appears on. Some of them, maybe you want him to be on all of them, okay? You can do that if you want. I use this more for the manager ally thing and then adjusting like their attire and stuff like that if you wanted to do that with their moves. When you change the moves and stuff, you eventually get into the creation of stuff. So that's that. Then I go to options. This is where you would switch between classic and superstar. Again, not in the middle of a weekly show. Whether you want automatic rivalries on, if you want tag teams forming dynamically, organically, that's up to you. I have entrances off. Universe tutorials, I turn them off. If you want to reset your universe, you can do so there. So that's like usually the first place I go to is right here. Okay? And where you switch between classic and superstar mode. Okay, championship just shows you all the championships. So that's in the My Universe tab. That was right here. Okay. Now what I do afterwards is go to edit shows. And from here, personal preference again. Don't be like, oh my God, I only have so many hours in a day here. I work out, play guitar, watch a little AEW. I don't have time for NXT, so I axe them. Adios, muchachos. You're done. Now, right from here, from this select show, you could do it individually from the calendar, but I wouldn't recommend that. I'll get into this in a moment. Go back to edit shows. Let's select Raw, for example. This is like the meat and potatoes here. So, number of matches. I usually always do the 9, but I usually only have about 23 to 25 participants per show, not 57. Okay? So, right from the top, it's Raw. Your participants, like in order of things. You can go to your participants. Here, you'll see the people that are in it. I wish there was a way to have it. Oh my God, I think they changed it. They did. Oh my God, they answered my prayer. I swear to God, I mentioned that to them and they did it. So because it's Raw, go to Raw and you're able to see everybody that's on Raw rather than having them like sporadically all over the place. So what I usually do is I would start, doing stuff like this. Whoever I want to keep, whoever I don't want to keep, right? So I would just do that. Oh, she's not in it, let's add her kind of thing, right? And then from there, you save it. So work on getting your roster the way that you want from there. How many matches you want. Again, in order here, match table for me is important. Again, you're going to have your own preference. This is if you want to work on the rivalries. I just leave them alone. They're left alone by default like this anyways. So regular match, what I normally do, this is where you could add if you want fatal four-ways to happen, what percentage of them you want them to happen at. I like to just keep things simple. For the most part, it's Raw and SmackDown and it's one-on-one matches that I predominantly do just to kind of keep things simple, okay? So again, do as you want. triangle or Y, whatever the keybind is for vacate match rules, I go ahead and I zap them all. Just like that. Then I go to one-on-one normal because I don't like one-on-one normal because it's too normal. It's too generic. So I select it. One-on-one. I do false count anywhere. You could do all ambulance matches if you really wanted to do that. Okay? So I'm going to do false count anywhere. And then the chance of that happening versus, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty self-explanatory. You can do as you want here. And I'm going to have it so that the main event is as such. Otherwise, something weird could happen. And if there is a championship match, you're allowing it to be, excuse me, a one-on-one false count anywhere match. So that very generic, maybe boring for you, that's how I do it. Okay? So I go ahead and I save that. Then I go to edit championships and Money in the Bank. Yeah, because let's say I don't want Money in the Bank like right now and I just want to vacate the slot. Then I'll just do that. Because I don't want like 6, 7 different things going on. I don't even want tag teams going on, right? So I would just boom, 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 boom. And then from here we could be like, yeah, okay, that's good, that's good. I want to throw in, you know, maybe Logan Paul, United States champion. Let's throw him in there. Okay, so we're going to do championship match, championship. We're going to go, you know, down the list. We're going to start looking around. What belt do you want to add? It could be anything you want. It really can be anything that you want. I'm just going to do Logan Paul. You could have added an empty one in there if you really wanted. Okay? Like you could pick, like who's got that one? Nobody. And then you could choose who your champion is. Okay? I don't think you can leave it blank, which would be kind of cool because then you could have a tournament, but whatever. Let's not get too carried away. Okay? So now you do that. You could save it or you can edit the division. I usually just kind of save it, look at things. You could do, again, edit divisions from here. This is very important because if you don't understand this, well then just that, you're going to have a wonky thing. Right now, how it works is this. Seth is the World Heavyweight Champion. Everybody in that list is just that, a contender. If they're not in this list, you will never, ever, ever have them fight. At least I don't think they will. Fight Seth for it. Then you can tab over to slot 2. Oh, there's too many people here. I don't want Omos in there. No, that's overdone. Don't want him in there. Don't want him in there. You know what I mean? And then, as you could tell, there's the different titles, the rankings. But you could be like, I don't want Jey Uso, or actually, I do want Jey Uso in there. No, I don't want JD McDonough in there. Like, you could just play around and add who you want in there, and then accept it. Slot 3. Oh, look at that. There's nobody in there. Perfect. Let's edit that division. Let's add. I don't think you can compete for more than one title at a time. So Drew McIntyre right now is trying to go for the World Heavyweight Championship. We're going to cancel that. See? It made it go over, right? You can only fight for one belt. So, at least as far as I know. So now we're going to save that. And as you could tell, now Drew is the only contender. When you go to other, those are all the people, simply put, that haven't been put into a division bracket / slot. You can't do any editing from here. Right? So this is where, again, you would edit your division. You would go down, and you would know who's not in there because there's not a belt next to them. Like, hey, Finn Balor's not in there. Damian Priest isn't in there. Let's throw Johnny Wrestling in there. And Tomato Paste, whatever. Kofi Kingston. Right? You could do that there. You can also edit the rankings from here, as you can see at the bottom left, and you can choose like who's actually like, you know, up there. Like, let's say we wanted Kofi Mania. We could do edit the power rankings. That's just the overall power rankings for, I think, everybody on your show, of course. You could change it from there. But yeah, this one I've never really played with too much, sorry. So if I wanted to edit the rankings... Oh, that's what it is. Okay. You have to hit the square and then select, then you swap them. Okay, there. That's how you do that. Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Now I've got my 3 belts, 9 matches, too many participants. I'll worry about that later. But the point is that's how I do things. And then from here, I'll go and do the same thing for whatever other show I have, in this case SmackDown, repeat the same process with the match table and all that kind of stuff. And then the last thing I do is come here, for example, because this is the same. Here you can edit an individual Raw. So I believe, and I could be wrong, do not quote me on this, I think this is the same. I don't think you can individually, even though I nitpicked that one Raw, I don't think I can change that one Raw's thing. I think it does it all. So it's just another way of accessing editing your show. But as you could tell in the shows, I also deleted NXT. So just for the fun of it, you could see that one's kind of grayed out. I don't know if I need to do this, but for the sake of my OCD, I just go ahead and delete it. Now for all the pay-per-views, the premium live events that happen on Sundays, generally speaking, I go and I edit all of them. Because they're not necessarily going to be set up the way I want. There's always going to be 2 shows from both brands. 9, 11, 12. You can go all the way up to like 14. I usually do like 10 to 12. Again, I'll do that. And then again, same thing with the match table, right? Triple threat, normal. Maybe I don't want that, so I'll get rid of it. There's a no holds barred event. That's kind of a big deal. That's what makes, is this elimination chain? I don't even know where the hell I am. I'll go ahead and like get rid of that. I'll save it for a second. Oh, it's Backlash. And again, you can work with the chances of that happening. Now, me, from what I remember, I just put everything at 100% so that you're 100% guaranteed to get your one-on-one normal matches for everything, and you're 100% guaranteed, if I understand this correctly, for your one-on-one no holds barred to happen at least once, and that's why you have the limit there of 1, right? You could choose if that's going to be your main event. If you do that, that might, randomize things. I don't know like every detail. I don't know if now that makes it that your main event could be either a one-on-one normal match or a one-on-one no holds barred match. I really, honestly, couldn't tell you. But it is how I do my things. And then, see, I don't want rivalry matches here. I don't want any of that stuff because I just don't. That's my preference. Again, now I save it. You do that for all your PLEs, okay? And then, because the game, sorry, it helps if I could speak properly. The game starts in May. So you'll have to do that for every month, right? All the way through to April. And then, obviously, when you try to go to May, it'll say all shows must be completed. So you do them for all of them. Again, I delete these just for the sake of OCD. I don't think you need to do that. And then once you've done this like that, you've done all the pay-per-views, you've done your one Raw, your one SmackDown show, edited them the way you wanted, you did each and every individual premium live event the way you want, then it's infinite and you never have to do it again. If you want to make some tweaks, naturally, if you're in the middle of a current week, you're going to have to wait until the following Raw or the following SmackDown for those to take effect, right? You can't just add somebody mid-match and expect them to show up randomly. And that is really the gist of it. I don't want to do a recap because, no, I'm not doing that. And then you would just go and start your show. Do take note. In closing, so important. When you start your first week of Raw, it's going to be nothing like what you set it up, right? Because it's already predetermined. Even though we haven't even started yet. We're May week 1 on a Monday. This is the very first show. This is a fresh universe. Don't go into your first Raw and be like, I didn't choose this. This is where you could, if you just wanted, again, in closing, you could just go and just full-blown delete Raw. You could delete SmackDown, right? And then you could go to Monday Night Raw and you can make a new major show. The WWE, your participants, right? You could do that if you wanted. And this is where you would go and select, do you want it to be a Raw, a SmackDown, a Royal Rumble? This is where you could change the arena. Who do you want as your referee? Do you want the screen filter? What's your matchup screen? Again, is it Raw? Is it SmackDown? Is it NXT? Maybe you can have an NXT, whatever. Matchup screen if you want. You can do what you want. So you can kind of do a clean slate. Because then from here, again, there's like literally nothing. There's no participants. And then you can just start going down the list and adding who it is that you want. The problem when you do it this way, again, is you won't necessarily know what show they're on. Like, where's Bobby Lashley right now? Is he on SmackDown? Is he on Raw? We don't know. I mean, technically, again, you could do the whole go to Raw thing, which is new if I'm not mistaken. And then you could just go and be like, all right, where's Bobby Lashley? Is he on Raw or is he on SmackDown? And it kind of helps you figure out, where he is, because you don't want to duplicate him, let's say, because you didn't want to do that. That's where, again, ultimately, the best place to go for that is My Universe. Superstars, right? Tab over. Find Bobby Lashley. And then from there, you can see what show he's on. Helps if I point in the right direction. He's on SmackDown. And if he was also on Raw, the icon would blink and it would fade from SmackDown. I don't know what this is. La comida muy buena. Whatever that was. Don't ask. Yeah, so there you go. I think that's everything. So if you liked the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm. You didn't like it, thumbs down, I'll break it in half. Give you a solo Sakoan spike in the end. If you want to subscribe, great. If not, whatever. Thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. Maybe I'll see some of you in the next video. So by the way, he was on SmackDown. How we'd know if he was on Raw, it's not highlighted. There's no white. See, that's it not selected. SmackDown's not selected. Now it's selected. Now Raw is selected, but he's not actually on it. That's adding him. Now it's like a double box. Do you understand? That's removing him. That's adding him with the two boxes, right? So that's your final way of making sure that he's not on more than one show, is looking at it from the superstars list this way. All right. Holy macaroni and cheese. Bye for now.